Welcome to the Trail Chasers Podcast.
This episode is presented by Nexen Tire. If you want to increase the performance of your rig both on and off the road, go to nexentireusa.com and get a set of Rodian MTXs. And the show is also brought to you by Icon Vehicle Dynamics. We just got back from the Icon Overland experience at KOH, and I got the chance to let the Ranger roam in the desert with the new Icon kit on it. I am so happy with the suspension on this thing that I went and gave Jeremy from Icon a hug in the dark. And it was a little long, and I think he got a little uncomfortable.
I'm sure he did. Today on the show, we talk about our epic King of the Hammers trip. We can't thank Icon enough for letting us in on an amazing experience. We also talk about chasing dragons and the need for shower pouch to include directions. Some things aren't as obvious as they seem.
Also, we learned that everybody has a price.
Hey dude, $20 is $20, even when you're in the desert.
It's time for the Trail Chasers Podcast. Are you ready? Let's begin.
Trail Chaser, get out there and chase your adventure. Trail Chaser, our time is now.
Get out there and chase your adventure. Get out there and chase your adventure. Get out there and chase your adventure. Get out there and chase your adventure.
Hey everybody, it is the Monday after King of Hammers, February 10th. And we were just commenting in the live feed about how we're going to call this the Dragon Ass episode, because all three of us are still hurting from this weekend.
You know, it's like I'm sad that it's over,
Yeah.
but I'm also glad that it's over because
When you're in it, you don't realize the price you're going to have to pay, when it's over.
no, I know the price. I was very much aware of the price. But yeah, yesterday was so all day. Sunday was just a kind of a recovery day, and I'm still recovering. Like I feel congested, like I'm still coughing up just dirt and dust. Who knows how long that's going to be.
Yesterday was a recovery day, but Tammy left halfway through the day because she's gone to a work thing for the next 3 days. So it was I'm single daddy duty. So
That's rough.
I was literally on the couch with Presley just crawling over my head, wanting to play, wanting to do stuff. I'm like, can we just snuggle? Can we just watch TV? She wasn't having any of it. So we're gonna give a recap of the experience that we had with the Icon Vehicle Dynamics Overland experience with Icon and Trigger Controller and all of the people that participated. But kind of going back to last week. So last week's episode, you heard episode Thursday on the 6th when we were out on the trail. So going back to that Monday prior, so we had Jose had taken his Land Cruiser in to get re-geared
that Monday.
So you got the Icon wheels and the new Nexen 35-inch tires. Threw that on the truck. It was a pig.
Yes.
So you took it to get re-geared on Monday,
Right.
and so everything was fine Monday though.
Everything was good. I was like, okay, I just got to break in the gears as they instructed. And I'm like, I had to put 500 miles. And on that Tuesday, so the next day, Tuesday, I was going to go for a long drive after work just so I can put the miles in and get to 500 when I got to King of Hammers. I was going to change the oil out there. But I was just like, you know what, forget it. I'm not going to drive 5 hours after work. It's too long. So, and then I was driving home, and then I get this loud. I don't even know how to explain. I mean, Cody, you heard the noise too. After,
Can you duplicate the noise?
yeah, it's like
Wow, 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 wow.
yeah.
No, it was bad. It was bad. So Tuesday night we get a
That's that's what commonly known as the UFO sound. So maybe you were being followed.
so Tuesday night you send a text that says, "I'm out.
Yeah.
I'm not going." And I'm I can imagine your frustration
Yes.
at this point, but, and you're like, we're like, what do you mean you're out? What's going on? And then you told us about the noise, that the truck is making a noise. And then come Wednesday, you were still, or no, was it Tuesday night?
Tuesday night I was working on him. Like the speed sensor was loose. And because the ABS light turned on the dash, so I'm like, maybe it's the ABS sensor. It was loose. Everything else seemed fine. And then I turned the truck on. The light went off. I drove it around the corner. I'm like, no noise. So I guess that's what it was or something. I don't know. But the next morning when I was driving to work, it did it again.
Yeah, and you had everything with you.
I had packed everything already.
So everything's with you in the Land Cruiser at work. It makes the noise. And Wednesday you're like, I'm not going. I can't drive this thing out.
Exactly.
And fortunately or not, I haven't even listed the Tacoma yet. And the Tacoma's sitting here in the front yard, in front of the house. And so I drove the Tacoma over to your work, dropped it off. We transferred everything out of your truck into the Tacoma. And then I brought the Land Cruiser home. And you didn't tell me what to
I forgot to tell you.
And I wasn't even thinking about it. And I leave your work and I get down to the first main street. And all of a sudden, this noise hits, and it scared the crap out of me. And I'm like, "That's the noise he's talking about."
Yeah.
It's bad. It sounds almost like metal on metal grinding.
I don't even. It's not the differential. I think it's something to do outside, like either wheel bearings or something. But I don't know.
So Wednesday we dropped the truck off with you.
So we did the vehicle transfer.
The vehicle swap on Wednesday. I'm kind of scrambling to get everything, trying to work because I had some work stuff I had to get done and out the door before I could leave, and scrambling to get everything loaded. And I finally got to the point where I was like, if it's not in the truck, it's not going.
We'll figure it out.
Yeah, between the group that was going, we'd be fine. I headed out a little after 2, went to Matt's house, picked up Matt. And then we were going to do groceries, and Matt was smart and said, no.
No, we got to get up that hill.
Yeah,
first.
let's get up.
They got grocery stores up there. Yeah. They're not as nice as the ones in Fontana.
I will tell you.
You're gonna attest to it. Wow. Guys, how many mullets did you see?
How many El Caminos were in the parking lot?
I will never go to that establishment again. Like I will buy groceries at 7-Eleven.
What city was this?
I'm not even going to mention it.
Oh, go ahead. Go ahead.
It was an experience, and we left all of our trucks are in the drive. So at that point, we called Joe K and said, just meet us at the grocery store.
Be Overwatch on our trucks.
No, he comes rolling in. So we're hustling through trying to shop, and Joe's rolling in, and I'm like, okay, well now all 3 of our vehicles are out in that parking lot, and between the 3 vehicles, they're probably more than all of the other vehicles in the parking lot. And so we kind of like quickly grabbed stuff to eat. Like I mean, Matt and I kind of had a plan.
You mean that grocery store sandwich? Whatever kind of store you would call that place we got all our food supplies. I grabbed a ready-made sandwich from there.
That's what I did too.
For the final trip. I hadn't eaten all day. Like that was because I was so busy trying to get out the door. You know, I left the office early, so I didn't take a lunch, and it was just mad scramble at that point. So, yeah, that was it was get to the hammers.
Yeah,
that was as fast as you can.
So we
I think we did all right.
We did. And surprisingly, and I think this is a testament to Matt's good idea of getting up the hill quickly.
You can keep saying that as many times as you want.
We took off.
I had a good idea.
And the original plan was to go to the campsite and then meet the Icon team at the LGE CTS party. I was texting with Jeremy on the way up. Hey, our ETA is 5:30. He said, come straight to the house. So we went to the LGE CTS party first, texted Casey. He met us there. We come rolling up. Casey's already in full work mode. He's carrying things around. Teresa said that he was like a big help. He was, oh God, this is so funny. Casey said that as he got there and he's like, what do you guys need? And there's like, hang these posters. So he ran a couple screws and hung some posters, whatever. And then they were like, hey, these trash cans need to go over here. And Casey grabbed 2 empty trash cans. And Teresa, all 5'1.5" of her, grabbed a giant aluminum table, threw it up over her shoulder, and she's like, follow me, and takes off. And Casey said he felt like such a punk and she's showing him up. But we helped out a little bit there, not a lot, just enough to get some things going. Then we went to camp, and camp was... So the first time we went to camp,
oh man,
all we had was coordinates. And like if there's Hammertown and it's another 20 to 30 minutes northeast of Hammertown in another dry lake bed area. And so we were just driving in that general direction with no trail map, nothing but let's just try to get to this point.
Yep.
And we did not go in a straight line at all. Like I had us all over the place. At one point, I'm like, it should be right here. And I was looking at the Hammertown marker on the map.
I swear, I don't know how many times we were telling you, I think you're going in the wrong direction.
I wasn't going in the wrong direction.
You pulled up the wrong coordinates or whatever.
Yes.
I pulled up the correct coordinates that was emailed to me with my correct email address, everything. I did everything right.
Well,
and you could clearly see if you just have a map, just Google Maps, that there was a ridge line, and we were on the other side of that ridge line. Let's just get around that thing. All you gotta do, it was dark. That was the difficult thing.
You had no point of reference, dude.
yeah, it was dark.
Pitch black out there.
I will tell you that the stock lights on the Ranger aren't great, and they're not very bright compared to the stock lights on the Tacoma with the LED pods that I had in the bumper. And at one point I was looking at the wrong coordinates on the map, and we were at Hammertown, but we eventually got there.
But how cool was that? Like to come over that ridge, and then you see like the camp and how they had it set up.
Yeah.
It was all dark. It was pitch dark at that point.
They had the lights on. They had the
Right. No, well, that's, I mean, like, the sun had set, and you could see all the shift pods that they had set up in the campground. They had like the different colored spotlights, basically, kind of reflecting off everything. It did seem like a cool moonscape,
super cool.
a really bitchin' space.
Yeah, it was super cool. And Jeremy
It was spacey.
And Jeremy had said, just, there's a couple shift pods for you guys when you get there.
Not like Kevin Spacey. That'd
No.
be creepy.
I don't think so.
He's never mind.
So we roll in, and they had this area. What would you say that, like, I don't know what, 200 feet by 200 feet square?
Something like that.
Roughly. It was a
a little bigger.
It was a big spot.
Maybe 100 yards by 100 yards.
I was
maybe,
gonna say like a football field.
Yeah, so maybe by so we roll up, and they got these shift pods just kind of boom, boom, boom all the way around, and then one big one in the center.
That had like multiple pods tied to it.
The one in the center is so the shift
That
pods
was like the command center.
Yeah, these shift pods are super cool. They come like I'll say that they look almost like an easy up. They're in a bag. You take them out of the bag. They're all folded up almost like an easy up. You set them down. They fold out.
Yep.
You step inside, push the center up,
Pop.
boom.
That's it.
Done. You've got a insulated 10 by 10 square. I'm sorry.
Like
octagon.
Maybe
I think it's a hexagon.
Hexagon, yeah. So a 10 by 10 hexagon.
hex?
Yeah,
I think so.
hexagon.
I think so.
Insulated with windows and two. I love this part of these. The shift pods had the 2 doors. So the way we had it set up is basically that door was Joe Case, and his stuff was on that side. This door was mine with all my stuff on this
that's
side.
cool.
It was super cool. So like
We just brought all our crap in.
no, but
we stumbled and kicked it around.
No, yeah,
for 3 days.
no. Joe and I had it set up so like between the 2 doors was wide open.
Effing Jose's shit's all over. I gotta step over his crap.
So that was.
It was more my crap. That was.
I'm sure that my tent was a disaster. So the shift pod was set up. You and Jose shared one. Joe K and I shared one. Casey, Susan, and Zen had their own tent. And in the center, these shift pods can be zipped together to create larger, like, modular rooms, and that's what they did in the center.
Yeah,
it was really cool the way they had that set up. And then there was a bigger model in the front for registration and everything.
Yeah.
But we've talked to Christian at Shift Pod. He's going to come on the show to kind of give us a story. They do a lot of work with like disaster recovery and emergency response, and I could totally see it. Imagine, emergency response team, unzip that bag, stand up, boom, you got a tent. Like,
yeah, and then you got like a I can't tell
decontamination.
Yeah.
Well, he said they have special decontamination modules.
2 things I liked about the shift pods. One, high quality zippers.
Yes,
dude.
Nice heavy duty
Yes.
zippers. Because that thing, once it pops up, there's kind of like some tension on it, especially after you put the tie lines down.
Yeah.
But it's very sturdy. That thing could have handled any amount of wind I've ever, experienced camping. And number 2, the varying sizes of windows around it.
Yeah.
So if you do want some ventilation, right, for your when you're sleeping.
Especially in our tent.
Yeah, because it was gassy as hell. It was nasty, dude. Nasty. So, but whatever,
Yeah,
Just me and Jose, we don't care. So, but they had varying sized windows. And the other great thing is, I don't know how many tents I bought where you drape over, like the top of the tent is just like a screen, and then you drape over some stupid top.
like
Yeah,
the rain net.
Right, but that allows all the cold air to blow in. Like it really doesn't insulate at all. You can choose like how much ventilation you want. You could have none. You can just zip everything up.
Because it had the windows,
Which we did.
It had the windows all the way around. Each panel had a window.
It's
So
fresh air coming in here.
so 6 windows, 6 round windows that were probably 10 inches in diameter. And then it had 2 other ventilation square zippers that you could open.
And then the doors.
And then the doors had the zipper with the screen. And on either side of the tent, they had the ports so you could run
for,
cables and extension
cables.
cords or whatever.
yep.
So and then you
Yep.
can cinch it up. Super freaking cool. I mean, the ingenuity that goes into these things are amazing. And the Shift Pod team, because it was several of them that came out.
Yeah.
Thank you guys so much for setting up this campsite the way you did and letting us use these things. They're awesome. Like I said, we talked to Christian. We're going to try to get him on the show. But I was really impressed with the sleeping arrangements. I will say that I only slept in it one night because my air mattress. So
My mattress worked great this time.
the weekend that Casey came down to help us with the lift on the Ranger, I threw the air mattress in the front room for my nephew, his buddy, and Presley. They kind of had a slumber party out there, and it stayed out there for a week. We had like a family family movie night on it, whatever. Totally fine, totally inflated for a week. I took it down, I rolled it up, put it in the bag, got it out there, filled it up. I woke up. So that was Wednesday night. I slept in it. I woke up Thursday morning, early in the morning, on the floor. I was pissed. So I filled it up again, checked the valve. It still wouldn't hold air. So I actually slept in the Ranger on Friday night and Saturday night.
Did it smell funny afterward?
No, it was super comfortable. So after
What does that got to do with it being comfortable?
I'm just saying it was comfortable and it smelled like pride.
All right. Oh God.
Shame.
So then,
Exactly. Embarrassment.
so then we went back to the LGE party, and again, we didn't take the most direct path. So we kind of
it was pitch dark. There's not like a direct road. I mean, there sort of is.
Jose and I found it. We'll tell that story. Jose and I found a direct road on Thursday, but Wednesday night going back to camp, we just kind of went kind of the same direction we just came from, through Hammertown, back out Boone Road to the party, and super freaking cool.
Well, I met up with you guys at the party.
Yeah, that's right. Jose met us at the party because he left late. But Sarah, Teresa, the LGE CTS team, they had this party in the backyard of their house up there. All kinds of Hangar 24 beer, big fire pit, all kinds of people around. They had a barbecue. What was the name of the barbecue place? But there was a barbecue place there.
It was great, yeah.
That had food. I mean, it was an unbelievably awesome hosting job by the LGE CTS team. And we hung out with, like, we got there was the LGE CTS team, all of the Icon team was there, Joe Cal was there, Joe Cal from SoCal Tacomas, Derek McVenture was there. We hung out with him for a while. We chatted it up with a bunch of different people, and it was a super cool party. Like there was a lot of people there that we recognized. We didn't know exactly who was going to be camping with us, but we stayed there for a handful of hours, right? I mean, and by the way, Fred just said there was 1,000 direct roads. No, there wasn't, Fred. Screw you. You didn't give me a map with any of them. Screw you. So we hung out at the party for, I'd say, 10:30 or so. and then
Yeah.
and then drove back the half hour again to get back into camp.
That's where we saw that Tacoma coming in hot.
Oh my God, that's right. As we were going from the party out to camp, there was a standard cab Gen 2 Tacoma with a rooftop tent on it, and that dude thought he was competing in Baja, middle of the freaking night, 10:30, 11 o'clock at night, trying to bypass Boone Road on all the whoops. And my brother jumps on the radio and he's like, "That guy is not driving that truck home." And if he's driving it home, he's not taking the tent with him. It was I mean, that guy was bombing hard.
That was my introduction to Hammertown.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, okay.
Hammertown was so bad. So we got to camp, hung out by the fire a little bit, went to bed, fairly decent. I think we were all kind of spent just from the work and getting out there and all that stuff.
Yeah.
Thursday morning, Jose and I volunteered to go into town and get coffee and donuts. So we woke up. My alarm went off at 5:15, but I didn't hear it.
I was standing outside your tent. It was pitch black, and I'm like, Cody, are you awake?
So I went to bed because everybody was still up at night when I went to bed. So I put earplugs in and I didn't even hear my alarm go. And then finally Joe had to reach over and wake me up and said, "Jose's calling you."
No, he said there's a creepy guy outside the tent calling your name.
Not the first time. So Jose and I, one thing we did notice when we started going out, because the sun was starting to come up, there was a trail that went perpendicular to the final direction that we wanted to go, but it was a well-traveled road. So you jump on that road perpendicular to the direction that we wanted to go, and it connected with another road that went exactly where we wanted to go. So we hit the tracking on the map, tracked that all the way out, and that was a way more direct path to get out.
It was like a 20-minute max.
Yeah. So we got out to Hammertown, aired up the tires again, drove it. I asked Jeremy, I was like, so this was the night before at the party. I'm like, so does the donut shop know we're coming? He's like, no, I should have called ahead. What about Starbucks? No, I should have called ahead. So Jose's as soon as we get reception, Jose's on the phone. He calls the donut shop and says, "Hey, we're coming to get 6 dozen donuts." And they're like, "Fine." But we get there and the lady just was like giving us the riot act about how we should have called earlier. Now she's not going to have enough donuts. And she was,
she kept backpedaling. She's like, "But this is good because,
yeah, at least I get to sell
because you're selling your donuts." Now I'm not. That doesn't make one bit of sense. When you guys told me that day, I'm like, now I don't have enough donuts. You just sold all your donuts. Go make some more donuts.
Yeah, you would think that's a good problem to have. But I think But I think what was happening is she was just enamored with Jose because she kept talking to him. And
I mean, I did have the ugly desert shirt on. At this point.
Oh God, the ugly desert shirt. We'll talk about. I forgot to add that to the notes. So we grabbed the donuts.
That was like the highlight early on.
Yeah,
that was the biggest thing.
At one point, I sent Tammy a bunch of pictures of once I got reception, and she said all these pictures
you got to go on Instagram and see the shirt that Jose wore.
Tammy says, of all these pictures you just sent me, the one thing I'm wondering is what the hell is Jose wearing?
It's my ugly desert shirt.
I don't know, dude. I think it was a bad choice. So we get the donuts. Fine,
best. I don't know.
We load them in the truck. And then Wednesday when I was loading up, I have one of those seat cover, like dog seat cover things that you drape over the back seat.
Well, Starbucks gave us these bags. I didn't even look in.
Well, before we get that point, I forgot to add. So I threw that cover on the back seat, just thinking, it'll keep the dust off. I'm going to be throwing stuff in and out, whatever. So that I got I was lucky because to Jose's point, after the donuts, we went to get Starbucks. Jose had called ahead. They had all the carafes ready. And then they handed us these bags and they were like, okay, here's all the fixings, right? Neither one of us looked in the bags.
No. And I didn't even think, dude, I didn't think they were going to give us creamer in there.
They gave us creamer in a regular plastic Starbucks cup with a regular plastic lid on it. And they set it in the bag with all the sugars and the stirs and all that, and the cups and all that. So we go outside. We just put them in the back of the truck, set them up and kind of prop them up. All the coffee's on the floor, and we take off back into the desert. And we're trying to get there by 8, and we got there at 7:59. We got there at 8. And as we're unloading everything, one of those cups with the creamer had tipped, and half of my back seat was covered in Starbucks creamer. And had I not had that mat on the back seat, I'd be ripping out upholstery right now. That would have been absolutely horrible. I'm so thankful.
Would it have?
Yes, it would have, Matt.
Okay, well, whatever.
I know you don't care.
No.
So,
So that's an interesting, the coffee story. There was like, how many cups of cream? Full, like venti sized cups of cream.
6 of them.
6. So
Yeah,
one per
per
for
box.
every carafe. They gave us a venti
It
size.
was like a 50-50 ratio from coffee to creamer. I don't know. I mean, I took not only that, but the sugar and stir sticks. Like, I took a couple of those containers because I don't know where to buy those stir sticks for home. But now I have like
Smart and Final.
do they? I don't need it. I don't need nothing. I have like 2 years worth of stir sticks now.
The store.
Oh, you know what, Jose? I don't go to the yuppie stores that you do. I'm not that big a coffee person yet.
So, got the creamer cleaned up. We did a kickoff meeting. One thing I noticed at the kickoff, and I think I know you and I have talked about it. So at the party the night before, we saw a bunch of people. We didn't know who was going to be hanging out. We went to do the kickoff in the morning with Jeremy, and we looked around at the group that they had assembled, and the Icon Friends and Family group that they had assembled was like a really cool group. I mean, they had Trail Recon there, Jillian Rebecca, Joe Caltacoma, Trigger Controller, McVenture. They had there was a bunch of Trail Trek. The Trail Trek was there.
Yep.
Bunch of really cool people for the first night. And then we'll talk more about who rolled in after the fact. But the kickoff was pretty cool. Jeremy talked about, kind of the plan for the next few days, why they brought everybody together. And in the daylight, when you saw where we were, it was this nice, big, flat, open, dry lake bed area, hills all the way around. It was like the kind of place where you're like, man, even if I wasn't with this, like in this party group, I would want to camp out
exactly.
here. It was awesome.
Well, I think it was ideal because there were 2 really close locations in either direction, maybe a quarter mile or so, that you can get a really cool view of the race too. So, as far as being because everybody goes to Chocolate Thunder Backdoor, even those weren't that far, but that's where everybody's gone. It was cool to have like a couple of spots nearby.
Yeah.
That were convenient,
And
and it avoided a lot of the dust.
Yes.
That's probably the biggest thing I'm thankful for about being that isolated.
When we drove into camp, we'll talk about it when we get in there chronologically when we get there. So after the kickoff, we all kind of as a group drove out to a portion of the track of the course where we got to see some trucks. Bryce Menzies, the winner, by the way, drove by us at full speed, and we got video of it. And we were all kind of parked in a line, and everybody was there. And it gave us a chance to kind of mingle with people. And at that point, we were sitting on the tailgate of the Frontier, and we ended up striking a conversation with Jillian Rebecca. That it went a good half hour of conversation. Super, super cool conversation with her. And I really want to get her on the show. And what are we laughing at?
I'm laughing because I was kind of drunk by this point, and and I was just like,
I wasn't going to bring it up.
no, it's okay. I was kind of drunk at this point. I was kind of like,
Mind you, it's
like
11:30.
It's 11:30.
Chasing the dragon.
But I was just like, she was there, and then Brad, like all these people were there, right? Like all these YouTube people and stuff. And I was just like, dude, I'm kind of like,
you were tripping balls.
I was, dude. But I was.
What am I doing here?
Yeah, what am I doing here?
You're part of our podcast. Like,
And now
belong
I just
here,
kept
dude.
asking Cody. I'm like, I'm not being weird, right?
At one point, like,
Yes.
At one point,
Yes,
Jillian had
you
walked
are.
away, and he's like, "Am I being creepy?" And I'm like, "No, dude, I'll stop you if you start to get too creepy." But it was cool to see up close, to see the trucks drive by.
And you know what's funny is like 2 nights later, or the final night there, Jose's like in full regalia, like just cracking jokes. He didn't care about who was there.
Yeah, well, that
It was
because at that
oh, there's Jose.
yeah,
Like,
yeah. You
and
definitely
we had
ramped up.
yeah,
you
oh.
definitely ramped up.
it was a blast.
So we hung out. We took some videos and shots of the trucks driving by and all kinds of cool stuff. Talked to some people, headed back to camp, and then on the way back to camp, to Matt's point, there was this one spot like where you could get up on a hill to watch the races come around the backside of that hill. And so we all kind of took a run at that hill. It was the first big hill climb of the day.
Yeah, there was a bypass to that.
Yeah,
There
you
was a
could go around
the
it.
easy way, or you can do the little hard.
If you had a Jeep, you could go around it.
Pressure was on because everybody was, dude. There was everybody's watching.
And so I'm going to ask you, how did the Ranger do?
I don't know how to do.
You saw it. How did it do?
Did
So
I
the
see it?
Frontier, man,
So,
no.
going back, Jose rode with Matt most of the weekend.
Yeah, the Ranger did great. The whole weekend.
did.
It
It
really it's I'm jealous because it far exceeded anything you'd done in the Toyota by far. And I think Jose, having ridden in the Frontier, could kind of, and driving the Tacoma, that thing's not set up very well. So it was like you were on another level. Like, oh man, you literally drove the truck that we drove at the drive and ride, and you got to play on another level. So yes, that first hill, it was pretty sandy.
At the bottom, it was really sandy.
It was sandy, and then it got
kind of
to,
whoopty, and then
it got rocky.
and then rocky, and then there was another sand section at the top that got rutted.
It was like a pit at the top.
Yeah.
And you really had to like grab, it got vertical for about 3 or 4 feet, like to really grab. And once you crested that, it was easy. But you were able to just blitz that. I don't know what gear you were in, but you ran right over any like whoop section at the beginning and just carried your momentum. It was like a piece of cake. So myself thinking, oh man, that looked easy. I turn around and make a run at it. I think Jose had talked me to try and do it in 2-wheel drive with, for momentum. And we actually got really far, I think at least 3/4 of the way up, but that wasn't going to happen. And then I tried it in 4 low.
Wait, we're not talking about the same hill, are we?
Yeah, this is the first hill because you went up. It took 3
It took
runs.
the third shot, and then I just went 4 high, no locker,
Yeah.
and carried it up. But
No, but just backtracking really quick to going back to get the coffee. We sent it. We sent
Back to
it
the
on the
coffee.
way.
Yeah.
Out there. I think it was like the first time you had pushed the truck.
Yeah, because up until that point, every time in and out of it was either dark or I was fully
Yeah.
loaded. So that morning, the sun had come up. I didn't have anything in the truck. I had all the suspension at 1, like just factories at 1, and I wanted to see what it could do.
And we hit a spot of open, just whoops, and Cody floored it.
That truck took off. So going back to that hill climb, Matt, I was in 4-wheel drive, and I think I changed the terrain management to
I don't want to hear
sand.
about your stupid terrain
And
management.
it,
Whatever.
so I made it up that hill really
Terrain
easy.
management. I hit a couple buttons. That's nice. You had a kick-ass suspension, and your wheels stayed on the ground when you hit the gas. That's what it was.
I will tell you, I've been thinking about it a lot because I knew this was going to come up in conversation today. So I really think it was the combination of the 3. One, I think the 2.3 turbo has just crap tons of torque, right? And if you've got all the torque in the world, but your tires are bouncing up and down because the suspension is not handling the whoops, it doesn't matter. So having the suspension to soak up all of the terrain and keep the tires on the ground, and then having the mud terrain tires on the ground.
Right, working.
There was at no point over the course of 4 days did I feel like I didn't have 100% command of whatever it was I was about to do. And we'll talk about some of the other hills we hit, but it was even more point and shoot than the Tacoma was.
No, your Ranger's like a little dagger now. It's like it goes wherever it wants to go.
Absolutely, and that's no. I didn't have any of the locker on. I didn't have to use the locker at all this weekend. I have no armor on it yet. So I am tentative in making sure that I don't bash it up a little bit. But that first hill climb, that opening up that morning and being able to do 45 across the dunes. At one point later that day, I was doing 50 across the desert, and the only reason I stopped is because the hijack came loose and almost came through the back window.
You could tell throughout the weekend, like your confidence with the truck started going higher and higher.
Oh yeah. So we did that first hill climb. We watched the races for a while. And then coming down the hill, it was like Matt's point, it was a quarter mile away. So we come down the hill. Joe K was riding with me at that point. And as we're coming into camp, we saw commotion.
See, but hold on, let's stop there. We weren't even going to go to camp.
No, we weren't. We were going to go
to Chocolate Thunder.
That's right. We were going to keep exploring.
Yeah.
And as we saw the entrance to camp and we went over there, there was some commotion and there was a bunch of people on the ground, and I saw a Jeep Wrangler on its side. And Joe, I was like, Joe, and he opened the door. And we're not going to get into too much detail because Joe's going to join us next week to kind of go through this. But I will say...
A cape unfurled.
Yeah, I will say that it was like my adrenaline, just as we were driving up, my adrenaline started to go. Joe stepped out of the truck, calmly walked up to the situation. As I'm trying to pull forward a little bit and park, he assesses the situation, says a couple things, chucks me his keys and says, get my bag. Joe and I have had multiple, he's with all of us. He's had conversations with all of us. This is the bag. This is where it's at. This is how to get to it. I ran to his truck, his Jeep. I knew exactly what to grab, and I ran back. And Joe, boom, sprung into action. And it was super impressive to watch someone with training. And Brad from Trail Recon was already on scene.
So Brad was already on scene. And then when Joe came, they started speaking the same language.
Yeah, Brad and Joe were playing off each other.
Yep.
But to watch someone that had the training and be able to calmly address a situation that the rest of us were a little bit like amped up about was extremely impressive. There was another, so that was the driver was down, and then there was a passenger that was down as well on the other side, and someone else was attending to him. But we've said as we'll go into detail about the story, and I've actually had some contact with the driver about coming on to the show. Mm-hmm. His name was Adam, and it's all over social media. So if you haven't seen it on Instagram, it's pretty easy to find. But I would love to get Joe and Adam on the show to have some conversation about this. It was a really, really bad situation that ended the best possible way it could have because we had trained people there. Joe and Brad really stepped up, and they did their part to ensure that didn't go awry. And again, I mean, we're going to dedicate a whole episode to it just because we could, but that happened, and then afterwards. I will say I do want to bring up that last week when I told you I bought those 3 foot by 5 foot orange flags, you guys gave me a bunch of crap. And when the helicopters had to fly in, Jeremy said, "Can we use the flags?" So Casey went and took his, because Casey and I were the only ones that put the flags up. Casey took my flag off the truck and his flag off the truck, and they used our giant orange flags to mark the landing zone for the 2 helicopters that came in. So $8 well spent.
It's not like they had GPS coordinates or like 12 CHP,
Nope.
Sheriff, Rescue,
Nope.
3, all those guys there to
If
help
it wasn't
out.
for the flags, it wouldn't have happened.
You'd still be wandering around looking. Where are these guys?
And my wife just logged into the live feed. Hey, baby, you should be working or doing something. Miss you. Come home soon, please. So that whole situation was pretty intense, and
She called us turds.
yeah. Well, she probably meant nerds. What's up, nerds?
No, she meant turds.
she meant turds.
Yeah, probably turds.
Oh, man.
So we, after that situation, everybody kind of went back to camp, and we kind of mellowed out a little bit. And then Caleb from Icon and his dad, Bernie, did this really cool kind of demonstration of survival skills in the desert. It was super interesting. How to use certain types of knots in what situations, how to get water out of a yucca plant.
Why are you laughing?
Because
that was a you
I know why. I know.
a joke after that.
Yeah, drunk joke.
drunk Jose would have tried
Some
to get
drunk
water.
things I remember, and that one I do.
Drunk Jose was trying to get water out of the plant the wrong way, let's just say. And then, so after that, we kind of hang out with it. Oh, and then we're hanging out at the campfire, and we met a lady from Fort. She was there, and she was there with.
I don't think she liked me very much.
Well, what's funny is,
Well, dude, when you're like, Ford sucks.
I didn't say Ford sucks.
I told her that you hated Ford. So,
And then, here she is. She works for Ford. And I went,
well, when we're standing there,
you can do
all right.
worse.
I'm talking to her, and I had just finished
Good
saying,
for you.
I told her how much I love the Ranger, and then I told her I was just saying, I said, look, full disclosure, we haven't always been Ford positive on their show, primarily because of this guy, and you walked right up at that moment,
Yeah.
and but to her credit, she listened to the things that you said.
and she listened to my story.
Jose.
she listened to my drunk ramblings.
Jose told her his experience with the F-150, and she listened. She didn't try to defend it. She took it. She knew exactly what was going on.
Not
Did
every
you get a
single-
voucher or something, Jose?
Yeah, I got a free Ford racing T-shirt.
No, and then I talked to her about. I did mention a couple of things about the Ranger that I think need adjusting, but we were. That's kind of our thing. We're not going to pull punches. We're sincere and honest in what any critique or comments we say. But she was super cool. I really enjoyed talking to her and her daughter. And then after that, we all took off and went to Chocolate Thunder. And
Not me. I fell asleep.
oh, that's right.
Oh yeah, dude, that was that was a madhouse. That literally was. It felt you missed out, Jose.
I did.
It
I was looking
felt
at the
like
pictures.
Mad Max. It felt like people were cheering. Okay,
That was like the Coliseum of the Gladiators.
Yes,
days, right?
yes, exactly.
Yes, because anytime something
got
went
that-
wrong,
That ridge line.
Yes.
So the vehicles. These were private people. These were just people with their rigs going up Chocolate Thunder, and it's like not a ridge line, like
It's more like a
valley.
It's in a valley.
Yeah, it's
A tight little valley, rocky.
can I stop you for just a second? Because I'm going to put on some of my new Icon
Stupid.
chapstick.
Whatever.
And full disclosure, Jeremy, I stole like 4 or 5 of these chapsticks off the table at the party the other night. I'll need some more next week. Okay.
What are you doing there? You need some chapstick.
Oh, this chapstick is so good. So the valley, you're talking about, just because at night when no one's on the course, the private citizens can go run it.
I'm still in shock from what I just saw. I don't know if I can. It's going to take me a minute to recover. So yeah, it is like it's maybe 50 yards across from one, kind of in a V or whatever, and there are hundreds of people on either side.
More than
thousands
of
of people with campfires interspersed, again,
Mad Max.
very, very apocalyptic.
Beyond
like,
Thunderdome,
what's
yeah.
going on?
And
then you had vehicles like trying to, it seemed like the entry point was probably the most difficult part.
to get up and around that rock.
There's like, I think they called it like Thor's hammer or something. Like there's just a giant rock the size of, I don't know, like 2 Volkswagens or something, if you put them like base to base.
Yeah.
And they had to work themselves around, and people were cheering because it wasn't even work themselves around. You're just dragging your vehicle around.
It was get up on top of it, let the driver's side of your vehicle slam up against the rock, and then you grind the gears hard enough to get it to pivot around until you break loose and then fall into the valley.
Exactly. And so, after... I don't know, an hour of that, just seeing carnage, basically just carnage, vehicles just working their way up, some of them stalling, some of them getting like pushed out of the way. And then everybody would cheer every time something like dramatic would happen. It was, again, like gladiators, like, destruction. And then that's when I was like, I got to get out of here. This is getting crazy. So on people would have spotters around that rock to work around the rock. And if you were on the, say, north side of the rock, that was the safe side because no vehicles were going around that way. And so after one guy was spotting for a while, another vehicle came around and rolled on the other side. Once it had just crested around the rock and it rolled over, and the guy that was spotting from the previous vehicle wasn't paying attention. He was facing the other way. And he got hit, and it just knocked him. And, we're probably, 50 yards away or something.
Yeah.
Something like that. Up top. And there's tons of lights, so you can see some things really well. But then other stuff, he just fell into a crevice.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was just like, oh, my God.
He got launched a good 10 to 15 feet sideways and then
dropped
down 6 to 8 feet.
At least 6 to 8 feet. And so it was just, I saw it as it happened, and I went, "Oh my God, I think that guy might have died. Like, somebody should check." He didn't have a helmet on. Exactly. It's like, yeah. Oh, F that guy. And then they didn't even get that vehicle that rolled over. He hadn't even gotten pushed back up.
It was still on its side.
The next guy comes around and just so now he's like an obstacle. He's getting worked on like it looked like Karl Malone in the post, like trying to like bump on Kareem. You know, like he was just like pushing him out of the way. I gotta get by here. That next vehicle, and the vehicles just kept coming, and I went. And Teresa was there. So you and Teresa were talking. I said, "Did you just see what happened right there?
Yeah.
That guy just got knocked into that crevice, like into the darkness." And they were talking. And then she just pretty much looked over and went, "Yeah, that shit happens sometimes." And then she just kept going. You guys kept talking about stuff.
Okay. At the same time, my brother comes up. My brother's I'm having a conversation with Teresa, and I'm asking her because Teresa from LGECTS has run King of Hammers. She knows this race. They have a house up there in Johnson Valley. She's up there a lot. She knows her stuff. So my brother's over and we're talking, and my brother's talking to her about King of Hammers and what the qualifications and what you need to do.
Got so upset.
And she's like, no, it doesn't work that way. And my brother is trying to argue with Teresa about how King of Hammers works. And I was like, dude, she's run the race.
Yeah.
Like I'm gonna go with Teresa on this one, and you're pretty drunk. Like,
Yeah. And he got all mad.
How drunk was he?
He
Not
kept
too bad.
arguing with her
Until
in my truck. Like, she wasn't even around. He was yelling at me about still that argument. I'm all, dude, why do you care so much?
Well, he was drunk enough to lose his phone.
and then
that's true.
he lost his phone that night.
Yes.
Casey, you're a jackass. But it was hilarious, and Teresa was a good sport about the whole thing. It was funny, so going back to when we got there to Chocolate Thunder, like you were saying, all of the obstacles down in this crevice, and there's this ridge line to get to the very top of this peak, and we all like people drive up the ridge line and peel off to the sides and park, and they line this ridge line, and it's wide enough for 2 vehicles to get through, but the entire way up, how long do you think that was? Quarter mile?
Yeah.
So
quarter mile.
Rocky.
Rocky. It was
at
steep.
a 45-degree angle.
Yeah.
With basketball-sized rocks all the way up.
Yeah.
Just you had to cruise all the way up to
you
get to
had
the
to pick
top.
a route. You know, I'm sitting stock height, so
Yeah.
it was definitely I couldn't just blast up it.
Yep.
You know, I had to use some strategery.
So you park and then you hike down.
And then you got to hike down. That was another thing I was really upset about that night. And I'll keep saying it. What do you think about hammers? I think next time I go to see Chocolate Thunder, I'm just going to park at the bottom and walk across. Because we parked up top, which was fun. Like, I'm glad we did that because, you know, it was cool taking the truck up there. It was a fun climb. But then you end up walking. So if it's a quarter mile, 45-degree climb in the truck, and you're going to walk halfway back down to Chocolate, like to
see the obstacle,
to see the stuff. The whole time I'm walking down, I'm like, dude, how much further we got to go? Because we got to walk back up this way. And now I'm an office fatso now, and I thought I was going to die on the way back.
It was
tough. And then the whole way back, because it's like midnight at this point or whatever it was. I'm all, these MFers, I ain't coming down here. If we come out here tomorrow, I ain't walking down this again. What did I do?
What do we do?
I walked right back down there again, thinking, oh my God, knowing what I was getting into.
And this time in the heat.
Yeah, so
it was rough.
Thursday night we stayed there till like 11:30, 12 o'clock. We hiked back up to the truck, took the truck back down, got to camp. Woke up Friday, and I will tell you that the first thing I did Friday morning was throw one of them shower pouches all over my body. And again, shower pouch come through. Mike came through with that thing. The shower pouch. Yeah, definitely.
That's a worthwhile. You can really get and I got some mass to cover, and it did a really great job, man. I was really impressed with it.
You have a lot of surface area.
Thank you. Mass. Yeah, exactly. Doesn't.
Well, you're dense too, but
thank you. The surface area. That's right.
But It's amazing. Couple days in the desert, wipe yourself off with
And
one of
it
those.
was dirty.
Feel good.
It's like I didn't know they make these in black.
And then to Matt's point, we all, as a group,
You want to know what I learned when you use that? Do your nether region last. Don't want to do your nether region first. Because then you just wasted that portion. You're like, oh, well, now I got to avoid that section.
that just seems obvious. Start at the top, work your
when
way down.
When you've been up all night,
Do the towel squeegee thing front and back,
And then clean your face.
Yeah, go right to your face.
There's an episode of Friends.
Matt, what have you been doing all night? Fighting dragons, losing.
There's an
Smell
episode.
horrible.
There's an episode of
I
Friends.
used a shower patch. What scent was it? Like dragon breath. Like, oh God.
There's an episode of Friends where Joey and Chandler are arguing about whether or not soap can get dirty, and Chandler says, "Think about the last thing I wash and the first thing you wash when you get in the shower." And Joey's like, "That's it. Separate soap from now on."
Oh,
Nah,
God,
but it's like the
yes.
layers. You know, they peel off the layer, the top layer. It's all right.
So we went back to Chocolate Thunder that morning, and by this time, Chase and Jackie Gentry, Adventure Overland, had showed up. Fred from Mountain Hatch had showed up. So they joined the group with a bunch of the other people that we were with. Cruised out to Chocolate Thunder. When we went back to Chocolate Thunder, that path we took the night before, that steep hill, was kind of out of control, and off to the left was a different steep, rocky path.
Oh, yeah.
And-
so going back to Chocolate Thunder, we took an even more direct, steep route.
Yeah,
Right.
and and man, the truck did fantastic. Again, I'm super happy with the way the Ranger performed. Everybody made their way up there. We did the whole
One shot. I did it one shot.
You did.
All right. Just get that out there.
Watched a bunch of stuff. By this time, the race trucks are coming through on Friday. We got to see a couple of them come through that area. We didn't spend a lot of time there. One thing we did talk about while we were there is the jackassery. Like this is a valley, right? And there's spectators.
Oh, yeah, dude.
There's spectators in this valley that goes freaking up forever.
It's like a legit 45 degree.
And it
angle.
is a legit. And some of these jackasses in side by sides were like wanting to drive closer to the action, and they were driving up at a 45-degree angle.
They were side hilling.
Side hill with 25 spectators below them.
More than that, dude.
Oh, it steeper than 45 degree. Like I was gonna bet that at least 2 or 3 of them were gonna roll over as soon as the guy started to get out.
Yeah.
And lean.
Yep.
But exactly the lack of concern. Like, dude, there are people below you. There's rocks everywhere. Anything the size of like a baseball was well within reason. I could see something the size of a basketball breaking loose and just wiping and taking people out below.
Dude, yeah, one of those
getting a
basketball-sized rocks come down and hit somebody in the back of the leg.
At a 50-yard or a 50-foot run, dude, that would take you out. And then you're tumbling down the rest of the way onto the course. There was this one guy, and he's gesturing me like I am shooting lasers out of my eyes. Like, dude, I'm gonna kill you if you break a rock loose. And then I'm sitting there like I found a nice little rock to sit on, and he's like gesturing to me like, I'm trying to get by, dude. I wanted to pick up a rock and just wing it at him so hard, but my arm sucks now. So
Cody, get your pencil ready.
But it was.
That guy, dude.
Oh man, 57 minutes.
Same guy, right?
Yeah,
We're
dude.
talking the same guy.
Yeah, because we were all sitting there. Dude,
he had like 10 people move out of his way.
There was tens of people sitting there.
Yeah.
And he's like, you guys are in my way. Move.
Yeah.
It's like, what are you doing?
Just the jackassery. Like
Fred fell. He did fall. Dude, it was slippery. On the way down.
On the way down, people fell. But yeah, that part I was really disappointed at. I was disappointed that some of these people were just too stupid, either too stupid or too inconsiderate to realize that or too lazy they didn't want to walk down. But they put a significant amount of the spectators in jeopardy because they're jackasses.
Yeah.
I was disappointed in that piece. So we made the hike back up to the trail, to the trucks, took off from Chocolate Thunder, went over to Backdoor, and we couldn't get very close. We couldn't park close to Backdoor, so we parked down the way.
They had like a parking lot there.
Yeah, it was you could park
cool.
you could park on the rail up against the track.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And then Method Wheels had a big canopy viewing area with free hot dogs. They said there's free hot dogs up there. So me, Casey, Derek McVenture, Joe. No, Joe didn't go.
Nobody brought me a hot dog.
Joe K?
Nobody.
No, he didn't. So we hiked up and got free hot dogs, and it was a really cool like viewing area. And you could see the actual obstacles at back door, people going down the back of it.
Yeah.
They had a big screen so you can watch the other portions of the race. It was a cool area. Totally worth walking up there and checking out. You guys were too lazy to do it.
I was drinking.
I know.
Yeah, I know. I
Yeah,
found
but
a perfect spot next to the course, and I made friends with one of the caretakers or whatever, the course guys, and he was really nice. And we saw
Melissa's husband.
That's right. Yes.
How do we not remember his name? I cannot remember his name.
Melissa's husband.
Melissa's husband.
I think it started with a G or an F.
Well, you have 24 other options.
So going back
Right.
to
It was one of those.
Going back several episodes to the Shred and Tread event at O'Neill, there was a spectator there named Melissa. While we were reading off the raffles, she was giving me the stink eye. So we started like making fun of her and cracking jokes, and she became a listener and a viewer. And so, hi Melissa, how are you doing? We saw your husband this weekend. So I handed him a couple new stickers and talked to him for a few minutes, him and his buddies. But Melissa was not there, slacker. Then we left Chocolate Thunder. Back door, heading back to camp. We ran into the whole Icon team. So I pull up, they're all the Icon trucks are there parked. I didn't realize it at the time, but I pull up behind them and all the dudes are standing there, and I roll down the window and what's up, sexy? And all of the dudes turn around and they're like, what made you think I was talking to you guys?
Yeah.
But we pulled over and parked to hang out with them.
No, they're all pretty sexy. I mean,
yeah, I guess. Now that you mention it, they are pretty cute. Mm-hmm. Those Icon guys are pretty cute.
So hot.
And then, so as they were, one of the Chevy Colorados broke, and they were fixing it, and someone had walked over to the hood.
No, Chevy Silverado.
Oh, that's right. It was a Chevy Silverado that broke, and someone wrote on the hood, and it wasn't me. Someone wrote in the mud on the hood that said, "I wish I was a Ford," and I thought that was the greatest thing ever.
Of course you would. I can't wait until your Ford fandom fails you. And then that thing breaks.
Maybe.
And he's like, I love Rivian now.
Dude, like I could afford a Rivian. Yeah. So we left them, cruised back to camp, kind of got geared up and ready to go. And then this is now Friday towards the end of the day. Oh, and Tom Ways, the Icon racer, got knocked out.
He got DQ'd.
I don't think DQ'd. He wrecked his stuff.
No, they fixed that.
Yeah.
But he went off the course for a bit to go around someone, and that's when they DQ'd him.
Oh,
yeah,
well,
he DQ'd.
He didn't.
Unfortunately.
Yeah, unfortunately, he didn't finish the race. So we went into Hammertown, and Matt was making the comment earlier about the dust. As you're leaving,
oh my god, dude! I should have taken a picture.
I know.
So gross.
As you're leaving, as you left, like where we were, and made the 30 minute drive into Hammertown.
It was, you know what it was like? It was like in that scene from Saving Private Ryan when like the mortars are going off everywhere and you're kind of, everything goes into slow motion. It's just dust in the air, like explosions all over the place. You can't really see what's happening. You don't know who's your friend or foe. You're just trying to get, around chaos.
Dude, you couldn't see the car in front of you.
Yeah,
No.
So the dust was so thick. It reminded me of those pictures you've seen from is it
Saving Private Ryan?
No. Was it China, Korea? Which
the smog.
The smog.
Yeah.
Oh,
the
God.
super dense smog. And then in the meantime,
Did they
there's
do King of the Hammers out there?
maybe inside this super dense fog haze of dust, you've got kids on quads and dirt bikes flying across traffic, zipping around. And so we're all head on a swivel trying to follow Rory from Trigger Controller on the way in. And it was absolute madness. And at one point we made our way into, I don't know, the parking area and around the backside towards the pit area.
Yeah, into the pits.
Well, and I didn't realize we were going into the pits until we pulled up, and then Jeremy
because Rory had said, I don't know if you guys are going to be able to get into the pits. You got to have a pass. I got a pass, but I don't know what you guys.
Yeah, he's like,
but we were following him in, and with the idea, like, we just lost our live feed.
Okay, we can reset it. Hold on. Pause.
You're listening to a 4x4 Radio Network podcast. The Trail Chasers podcast is a member of the 4x4 Radio Network. If you want more off-road shenanigans in your ear holes, go to 4x4radionetwork.com to hear episodes of the Jeep Talk Show, the 4x4 podcast, the Center Steer podcast, and On the Trail with Kevin and Scott.
We are back. What were we talking about? Mad Max? Oh,
Yeah, so we were talking
are you
about
recording?
Yeah,
we didn't stop recording. So we're talking about how we're pulling up into the pit area, and I didn't realize like we were actually going to go into the pit area until we turned the corner, and that
But nobody stopped us, like our little caravan of vehicles.
And then Jeremy was there, so we just followed Jeremy in and literally parked our rides right behind the Icon trailer in the King of the Hammers pits.
Yeah, super sweet.
Super sweet.
So here's a funny thing. I had to use the restroom, and Joe K had to use the restroom too. So we got some directions like, oh, you got to go into the into the event area to use the bathroom. So we walk out, and then there's the gate where so we're coming out of the pits, and then we're going to go into the venue or the actual Hammer Town itself.
Hammer Town.
And everybody else has like long sleeves on, so you're covering like your bracelet or your whatever. And I didn't, so I clearly didn't pay the $30 or whatever to get in there, which I would have done. But we drove.
Yeah.
I don't know where it was. We never went through the entryway.
Yeah.
We always went around, back or the backside or whatever. So security, grabs me. She's all, "Hey, sir, where's your bracelet?" And I'm all, I don't know. We just drove in. Well, you got to have a bracelet. So I'm walking. I'm not going to fight with anybody. I realize, I needed this, something I need to do. And I start walking towards like where I think the gate's going to be. I got about 10 steps outside. I went, I'm not going to just go wandering around looking for this stupid gate. I just drove in here. And she's like, "Oh, all right, well, go ahead then." Like, that was good enough. But the best part is, as soon as that lady, the security chick, she goes, "Excuse me, sir," Joe just beeline. He didn't bother explaining anything. Like, he's with me or we're with whatever. He just took off. Thanks, Joe.
We did that on the way back from getting the donuts.
Oh, that's right.
There's a giant line of people trying to get into the Hammertown area, and there's this one side that says bypass.
For
returners. To returns. So we come around to the returns, and the dude, as I'm driving by, the dude waves at me, and he's pointing his wrist, and I just waved. I was like,
we just
"Later,
waved,
dude,"
like,
and I
hey.
just kept going.
Nice.
But the so as we got into the pit, we parked. That was cool. We walk over to the Icon trailer, and Icon. Fred made the comment here on the live feed. They literally rolled out the red carpet. They had a inside
I've
there.
never had that happen for me before. I didn't know what to do.
They gave us.
Am I allowed to walk on the red carpet? Am I just allowed to look at the red carpet?
We had food. We had drinks. We hung out with Tom Ways and the truck. Casey and I we're talking to Tom and helping him with
Can
some
I talk to people while I'm in here? Should I just be quiet and look at everything?
It was
Dude, how cool would it be for a Trail Chaser race team?
It would be expensive, but someday maybe. It's on the list. It's on the list of things to do.
Yeah. Okay.
But it was super cool to just see like, and Derek and I were having this conversation while we were there. It was kind of surreal. We are standing 100 feet away from the King of the Hammers racetrack.
Mm-hmm.
We are literally we are standing next to the racetrack where people around the world are watching this race happen, and we are in the pits.
We're in the pits. We're in the Icon. Pit.
Yeah, it was absolutely surreal. Like don't even know how to put it into words in some ways. We hung out. We, like I said, talked to Tom, got to hang out with at one point, Derek, big picture. And by the way, like we'd wheeled with like Joe and Fred and Derek and Mike from Shower Pouch and a bunch of these guys. We spent some time with them, but most of that time was driving.
Yeah,
this is the first time we never
really got to know them.
Dude, you want to talk about some cool people, dude.
Oh, yeah.
I had
Hilarious.
such a good time with those guys. But we're standing there next to the Tom Ways Icon Ultra 4 car. And we started having a conversation about how Matt and I got to go for a ride in, and Derek is standing right there.
Shut up!
And he's like, shut up. And Matt goes like, I thought you knew, man. And we just started. Matt was
Dude,
total.
I thought you knew. Like,
Matt was total like, I thought you knew I was a big deal. It was the funniest thing.
Didn't you know?
Didn't you know who I am? Don't you know who I am?
Oh yeah, I rode in that thing. Just flippantly gestured at it, you know.
Yeah. That's my
Haven't we
deal.
all?
You haven't?
So then after a while, we went into Hammertown to walk around. Well, you didn't go. Did you go to Hammertown with us?
Yeah,
Yes, you were. You were there.
Yeah.
dude.
You were both there. I'm sorry.
Well, come on.
So we're standing like in the center of Hammertown after the entrance, and Joe K's like, "Hey, I want to get Justin a sweatshirt. I'm gonna go over to this store." Okay, cool. So we're standing there waiting. Then Derek and Fred and those guys met up with us, and then Chase and Jackie met up with us, and we're like, "Where the hell is Joe?" I go over to the trailer. Joe's gone. Like, we can't find Joe anywhere, and I'm like, he knows where we're at. Casey too. Casey had to, Susan, my sister-in-law, was with us, and she had to go to work. So Casey's like, I'm going to get her out of there. Casey's gone. I can't find him. So we make our way around town. Derek McVenture. Derek made a new friend.
Yeah, he
in
made
town.
a new friend out there.
Super nice guy. Derek, I hope everything goes well with
Ed. Was it Ed?
Daryl. His name was Daryl.
Was it? I thought it was.
Yeah, because I thought it was cute that it was Derek and then his friend's name was Daryl. So McVenture made a new friend, and then we made our way over back to the Icon trailer, and Joe was there. I'm like, what the hell, dude? Where'd you go? He's like, I thought you guys left. I'm like, we were standing at that big truck for a half hour waiting for you. Funny thing, as we were walking through Hammertown, someone yells my name, and I look over, and it's a guy named Vince that I used to work with from 1996 to 2002. We worked together. I haven't seen him probably since the early 2000s, and he recognized me. And I'm like, how the hell in 130,000 people here,
dude.
how did you recognize me? And we talked for 5-10 minutes. We're going to try to connect, but I just thought it was random that someone I hadn't seen in 20 years was there and found me.
We stopped by the Nexen booth.
We went by Nexen booth.
I guess we just missed.
Just missed Paul. The Casey's YJ was there though in full display. That the YJ that
They wrapped it, huh?
yeah, it's got a gray and purple camo thing.
Yeah.
It's the YJ that All J Products and Casey and that whole team,
Yeah.
Don Alexander, Quinn, they all put together. Then we kind of we ate it at the Icon booth and kind of made our way back to camp. And when we got back to camp, it was kind of like this really cool organic happening where we all kind of ended up in the back corner of the Overland Experience area, and it was myself, Joe K, Mike from Shower Pouch, Jose, Joe C, Joe Cal, SoCal Tacomas, Matt, Derek, who is McVenture on Instagram, Dre from the Trail Trek. By the way, Dre had a really cool Subaru Crosstrek
Yes.
that was just bombing out there, and I was really impressed with him. He was a cool guy. Edward Shen, who's a YouTuber that came down all the way from Washington with one of his buddies. Chase Gentry from Adventure Overland. Jackie Gentry, who said it was the most fun she'd had with a bunch of guys. Like she was the only chick in the group at the time. And Fred from Mountain Hatch. And we all sat around the campfire.
Fred has this awesome campfire, like the steel.
I forgot to tell you, they're listening. They're listening.
the aliens, the reptilians.
The government.
Yeah, well, I have my
and
tinfoil
Amazon
hat.
because
It came up in a search.
I
way.
shit you not. Today, as I was scrolling through Instagram, I got an advertisement for that thing that he had. It was on sale. And I forgot to, I was going to text you guys right away.
Oh my
so
God.
Fred, whatever that solo pod,
Solo stove, I think?
solo stove or whatever it was that you had, it's following me. They're coming to get me.
You know what? You're right. I started to get ads too. Like the price, it's like
For Tundra Lube?
No, that's something else. No, that's McVenture. For that campfire stuff. It's live, dude. He's on.
Solo stove.
man.
So one of the things that I found, like, it was just super cool, and you know, kudos to Jeremy and Rory for putting this group together. It was super cool that, like, all of these people we we either have interviewed or have wheeled with or have connected with in some way.
We've exactly. We've had some interaction with friendly, but
we run in the same circles, but never really interacted.
We've never hung out.
So it was
never really hung out.
Superficial interaction. And as we're sitting there, I'm kind of watching the and I took some video that I promise, guys, I won't share. I took some video just of the interaction of not only the group as a whole, but like the individual pockets. Like at one point, Jose and Matt were sitting, and Joe Cardenas was in the middle, and you guys were just, I don't know what you were talking about, but you were laughing your butts off.
Oh,
and
I don't remember what we were talking about.
I was there.
Yeah, exactly. I do remember just giggling like all night.
It was so much fun. Like the hanging around that campfire, cracking jokes on each other, and no one took offense of it.
I haven't laughed that hard in a while,
dude.
Yeah, it was great.
It was phenomenal. Like, so for those of you that are
for all the wheeling we did, that to me, I think that was the highlight of the trip.
100%. And what I love is that you follow social media with the Gentrys and Adventure Overland and McVenture and Joe Cal and Mike and the Trail Trek and those people, and to get to spend time with them in that situation and realize that they're just as cool as you expect them to be, that was really, really awesome. I mean, we had this trip as a whole is going to be remembered for a long time, and that night was a huge part of that.
Well, I look forward to the next time we can all hang out together. So
especially
whatever,
like that, like if we get to do that same like environment.
Well,
again.
I don't know. Yeah, exactly. We'll have to plan that.
Yeah.
Or make sure we plan that multiple times a year, because we'll see them again at some kind of an event or some show. But we'll be kind of working or whatever at that point.
Yeah, we need to get shit-faced together again.
Exactly.
Well, we made the comment because the Gentrys are in Texas.
Mm-hmm.
Most of us are out here, and we made the comment of maybe like find a place in the middle, like Arizona or New Mexico or Sedona. Man, we should do a trip in Sedona. Sedona's gorgeous. But like really making an effort to,
so we could check out the vortices.
Oh, that's right. You and your vortices. We did. Oh, dude. My wife, signal was spotty out there. And at one point, Tammy sends me a message and she's like, "Did you make it to the Integratron?" And I was all, "The what?" She's all, "The Integratron, that thing you talked about on your show."
Josh called it something like it was completely wrong, like the telemetrist or something like that. I'm all, what? When I got back into town, I could actually look at my Instagram. I'm all, no, we didn't see the telemetrist or the Integratron,
the Tetris machine, whatever it was. So to those people I named off that were sitting around the campfire with us, and anybody I missed, because I took a video to try to capture everybody's face. Thank you for that moment. Thank you for allowing us to participate in that campfire chat, because it was so much fun. I went to bed. I had 2 Mountain Morgans, but in my defense, they were pretty large size Mountain Morgans.
You could see like the booze hitting you.
Yeah.
Like I watched it in real time, because you were like just chatty and just beep, 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 like back and forth. You were surrounded with conversation, and then all of a sudden it just like the Energizer Bunny just.
It just looked like Cody was trying to read something a mile away.
Exactly. And then you got up, and I went, "Oh, he's going to bed now. Nighty night." And then you actually came back, which was surprising.
I just went to get everything set up because I had to get the sleeping bag and everything into my truck because I was going to sleep there. So I just went and get everything set up, knowing it was coming soon. But I did feel like Baymax in Big Hero 6, Fuzzy Bunny, like when he's running out of batteries. So I ended up crawling.
Yeah, not everybody has like little girls and watches those movies.
Here we go.
That's a great.
Here comes the waterworks.
Big Hero 6 is a fantastic movie, dude.
Oh, man. I'll take your word for it.
You haven't seen Big Hero 6?
That's a great movie.
All right. What am I going to do? Go home? There's like a bunch of movies I can't watch because I got 2 boys.
The boys would love that movie.
Love that movie.
All right. That's the one.
It's a cartoon, a Disney cartoon about heroes.
Okay.
Oh, I'm so disappointed in you right now. Big Hero 6.
All right.
Big ups. I went to bed early. I don't know what you guys did after the fact, but I will tell you that
Neither do we.
because I threw earplugs in because by the time I crawled into bed, there was another group closer to the front of camp that had the speakers going with some dope electronica music, which, and I'm not even being sarcastic, I liked it. I actually
Dope?
liked it. Was dope diggity dog. I've been listening to, so the Ranger has Sirius XM and there's this channel called Sirius XM Chill. And then another one called BPM that's all like electronica house music. The chill one is like mellow, and it's the best to listen to when you're in traffic because it's just like mellow beats. I'm feeling it.
If I listened to that stuff, I'd fall asleep in traffic. That's why I got to listen to something that gets my anger. You know, I gotta feel my rage.
Oh,
Rage
politics
Against the
talk.
Machine. Yeah. So my point was, I put my earplugs in. I crawled in the Ranger, went to sleep. I woke up at about 1:45 to go to the bathroom, and by that time the electronica music was dead. And I'm like, oh, okay, everybody's kind of dead. All of a sudden, in the back corner, 200 yards away, I just hear. I'm like, dude, there's no way they're still up. It was 1:45. You guys were still going
Oh, yeah.
strong.
Oh yeah. Yeah, we probably last another half hour, I'd say.
I think it was like an hour max. I think it was like 2:30 or something.
Dude, it was, I was amazed. So then we woke up Saturday and it started off another shower pouch just to make sure that I was clean. And then we did, Jeremy and Rory and the team put together a raffle and, we all got goodie bags. So I'd really like to first of all, thank Icon and
Absolutely.
and Jeremy and Rory from Trigger Controller. I mean, putting this thing together, they did it really quick and they did it they did it right. They brought the right people together to make it an awesome, unbelievable event. I cannot wait for next year on this. But in our goodie bags, we got stuff from AO Coolers, Advanced AAC, Pelican, Red Arc, Viair, Icon, KC Highlights, LGE CTS, Shift Pod, Power Tank, the Trail Chasers, we threw some stickers in there, Trail Recon, threw some stickers in, and Desert Rat Off-Road. So all of the registered participants, when you went in, you got a goodie bag, a swag bag with all that stuff. And then on Saturday morning, we did a raffle. And it was super cool. By Saturday morning, like the people that were remaining were the people that we were interacting with all weekend long, right? And it was like super cool. We all wanted everybody to win something, and everybody did get the chance to win something. Everybody that stuck around.
I won the best thing.
I know. So Canyon Coolers gave away a 35-quart Grizzly cooler, and Matt won that.
I did. So when we were sitting there, like, you know, I don't really care. I mean, who doesn't like winning stuff? But it's usually like, oh, okay, that's cool. It's not something you're really stoked about typically when anytime we've done a raffle or whatever. But when I turned that corner, I saw, oh, dude, I want that cooler.
It's a badass
I don't know
cooler.
what any of these other people, won or whatever. But maybe I can make a trade. I wasn't expecting to win it, and sure as shit, like I ended up winning it.
That was a really
great.
cool cooler.
You know, it's like a $200 cooler, like a Yeti or something, and you see them all the time, and it's like
They were saying how it's like grizzly bear proof, and I'm like, Matt's never going to get into it.
No.
If he,
No, someone said no. They said I think Rory was reading off. It's like
it's 30% better than
it's bear proof up to an hour, and it's like, oh well, it's gonna take Matt an hour to get. Yeah, and then Jackie and Chase won everything else.
So Power Tank had a tire repair kit and an inflator. Red Arc had one of their products. AO Coolers gave away 6 of the 12 packs.
Yeah.
I won one, and Casey won one, and they were this is the third AO cooler I have. I've got one that's probably 20 years old. I mean, I've had it forever.
Is it the one that's always in the back?
Yeah.
Like the-
So the one I have now is the newer one.
Okay.
The one that's 20 years old, it has a little bit of a tear. And the guys, I've seen the guy, he's like, just bring it in, we'll fix it, lifetime warranty. But I feel kind of bad because it's 20 years old and I beat the crap out of it. So what I'll do a lot of times is just put like my dry goods in there. Then I have the other one that was with us all weekend long, and then I just won this one, the nice vinyl blue 12-pack one.
Yeah,
I
wanted one of those.
Casey won one of those as well. They gave away 6 of those. AO Coolers, again, just their product is bomb proof. in the Ranger, I haven't really set up the back of the Ranger yet. So I had a big toolbox and I just kind of bungee corded the AO cooler to the toolbox. And every time we stopped, that thing had been bouncing around all over the place. Zipper never broke, straps never broke, didn't leak. Everything was still good in there. Trigger Controller gave away one of their 6-shooter trigger pods. Desert Rat Off-Road gave a one of those Murder Spork shovels.
Oh,
those things were cool.
The zombie apocalypse
Zombie
edition.
shovel, yeah.
Yep. Factor 55 gave away recovery gear.
I won the-
You won
yeah,
the strap,
yeah.
right? So Jose won a Factor 55 strap. Icon gave away a set of wheels. Literally gave a set of wheels, and the girl that won them, Allie,
She had broken
she
two
had just
wheels.
broken 2 wheels.
Awesome.
And 2 tires, and she won that tire repair kit.
Yeah, so the universe was with her on that one. So Icon also gave away a set of tubular control arms, and the best part of the entire day was when they pulled the winner for the Icon upper control arms, and the winner was Casey. Wah, wah, wah. Casey does not have upper control arms. He does not have a vehicle that works. So Casey was like, just put him back in, and somebody else won. Casey Highlights gave away a pair of LED slim lights. Lightner Design gave away 5 swag bags. I also got a Lightner swag bag. It was cool. Stickers, a patch, shirt, a hat, all cool stuff. Bolt Lock gave away 2 complete bolt lock sets, and these are they're like special locks that you can key to your actual truck key. So
It's like a 1 key fits all.
yeah, so now like your trailer hitch lock, your all padlock, all that stuff. Let's see. Energy Suspension gave away a $100 gift certificate. Hypertech gave away a throttle optimizer. I was making fun of that. I was like, yeah, anybody that's driving a Tacoma, you're going to want to need one of these. And Jillian's like, hey, now.
Yeah, it's like you have a Ford now, and all of a sudden.
Tub of Towels gave away a bunch of hand cleaner and lube. Rugged Geek gave away a jump starter and auxiliary battery packs. Pelican Products gave away some headlamps. And Shift Pod gave away a bunch of these tent lights and the first aid kit. That IFAC, that first aid kit was pretty legit.
Yeah.
I mean, that was really cool. And the light was awesome too. So again, going back to Icon and Jeremy at Icon and Rory and anybody else that was involved putting this stuff together, they were able to pull together all of this stuff from the goodie bags and the raffles and all the participants and the land from the BLM and the whole thing in a short period of time. And that's a testament to the community, man. I could not be more excited about what they were able to accomplish in a short period of time with the people that they pulled it off with. It was pretty awesome. And then several of us stuck around for cleanup. I thought it was kind of cool. And we did this without really planning it. Like when it was time to clean up, Joe K started going around and undoing the zip ties, dropping them. Matt started going around behind Joe, pulling the stakes out. Jose and Casey were folding the gate out.
Well, that was Joe and Derek. Like I saw them starting it. Yeah, and so
we started on the other side, and we kind of
I helped them on that side, and then I went over to the other side.
So we kind of like tag teamed it.
They started it,
and we
it was Joe Cal and Derek. They were
on the other
first
side.
ones,
So we all all of us that were left.
But yes, we
kind of
all
worked our
jumped
way
on it.
around, and within a short period of time, we had all of the shift pods broken down because they go down pretty easy. All of the fencing taken down, everything cleaned up,
the banners,
all the banners.
everything.
We walked around and we walked the perimeter 3 times, cleaning up zip ties and
yeah.
anything else we found. So as a team, we did a really good job of leaving no trace, cleaning it all up. We ended up with four giant trash bags in the back of the Tacoma,
yeah, dude.
for Jose to take home that day. And I'm not all of that was ours. I don't know where all of it came
It's
from.
just more swag for.
Yeah, I got lucky. I got the ultimate prize.
So then it was time to leave, and we all agreed that we weren't going to go through Hammertown.
No way.
Because I remember, and people were throwing out numbers like 6 hours, 10 hours to get out of Hammertown because anybody with a trailer, with an RV, with any not a 4-wheel drive, they have to go out Boone Road. And so the line to get out.
Not us.
Yeah. We decided to go the opposite direction. And again, I'm going to say it again.
Say it.
There was a lot of people there in the off-road overland community.
And they followed.
And what the hell are you doing following me? Like, I don't even understand. I even said it at campfire that night. I said the night before, I had said, I used to get anxiety every time I had to lead a group someplace. Now I don't care. If you guys get lost, your problem.
Everybody should know by
Yeah,
now.
by now it's
Hey,
like
man, I've pre-warned everybody.
So I'm literally like, I literally got on the radio and said, all right, let's go get lost. And we just, with no plan, no map, headed the general direction that we wanted to go. We could see that there was a trail leading that direction. And we knew that if we kept going that way, it would intersect the freeway at some point. And as we're going, and I'm looking behind me, and I got Joe and Derek and Chase and you guys. Everybody's following me, and I'm like, this is the dumbest thing in the world. At this point, I don't know who's dumber, me for
Eddie too with right. He had the YouTube channel or
Eddie Edward Shin. He was with us, and his buddy.
And his buddy.
I can't remember his buddy's name, and he has a really sweet 100 series.
It's a 200 series.
Oh, was it?
Yeah.
It was a 200 series Land Cruiser.
It's a 2016. I was following him.
That thing was so nice,
Dude, it was
so
beautiful.
dialed in. So we're kind of cruising, and I was tracking the path on my map, my tablet, and we're going well. And I was like, you know what? I saw another trail that I'm going to turn, and I don't really know why. Just like that looked like it was the right direction, and I made a slight turn. And at one point, we crossed over the motocross course.
Yes.
We crossed that, and then I'm
Straight shot. It's just a straight shot.
and I'm kind of mapping it, and I'm watching it, and I'm zooming in and out of the map as it's going, and I'm like,
You're like, am I doing this
I
right?
feel like this is going well. I feel like I'm going the right direction. I'm not 100% sure, but I feel like it. We got to that really cool old cattle ranch, and we kind of jogged around the cattle ranch, and I could see it. I was like, okay, we're almost there. Like I could see the freeway on my map.
What was the U-turn count at this point?
Zero U-turns. We hit that road, and I went, I'm 100% positive in my gut this is going to take us to the freeway. And I turned, and like I could see the heavens open up, and the sun shines down, and I got us to the freeway in less than an hour.
Yes.
With zero U-turns and some really cool scenery on the way out. We actually hit a wide open dry lake bed and cruised on that for a while. I felt pretty damn good about me at that point. I couldn't believe it happened. And I even told Chase and Jackie, I'm like, you guys just witnessed magic. I don't know.
Well, I apologize for everyone because you guys didn't get the authentic trail chaser experience.
Yes. It's called trail chasers. We never find them. We're chasing them. That's the thing. But we made it out with no U-turns. Everybody aired up, jumped on the freeway, headed out. Casey split off at the 247 to go up to Big Bear. He and Zen stopped at Cafe 247 for lunch. We all went into Victorville, had lunch in In-N-Out.
Let's backtrack a little bit. As we're getting closer to the road, we joked about like, hey, we're gonna hit the In-N-Out, right? And then Edward was on the radio, was like, hey,
You're not joking, are you?
You guys are not joking about In-N-Out, right? It's like, we never joke about it.
Are you guys serious about In-N-Out? If I say In-N-Out, that's serious stuff. We're not messing around. So had lunch at In-N-Out, and then kind of took off from there. Jackie and Chase decided to go back the other direction to head up to Big Bear. We were talking about what they were going to see next, and they drove through Big Bear. I had some chat with them on text messages with them throughout their trip, and they loved it up there. And then we all just kind of cruised down the 15 and peeled off one at a time.
Yep.
And then I got home, what was it, 3:30 or so? 2:30, 3 o'clock, something like that. And the girls weren't home yet from where they were at, and I, unloading everything. And by the time I got all unloaded, they showed up, and I just kind of hung out with the girls Saturday night. How were you guys feeling when you got home Saturday? Because you guys had a later night than I did.
What do you mean?
Like Friday night, you were up later than I was.
Oh, you mean like the next day, Saturday? How was I feeling? Dude, we got home. We had dinner. I don't even remember what I had for dinner, but I went to bed at 8 o'clock, and I didn't get up until 8 o'clock the next morning.
No.
Yeah, I slept 12 hours. I could have slept more, but Monty, told me I had to get up. So. Yeah, I was exhausted.
I had to unload the truck. I mean, it took like an hour. There's a lot of stuff, and I was moving slow. So
there was 4 bags of trash and 2 gas cans.
And all the other crap that I had, like tools and stuff that I had, my sleeping bags and...
Well, yeah, I unloaded, It took. I still have shit in the bed or in the in the back seat of the truck.
No, I completely empty.
It probably took me an hour to unload everything too. Now that you say it,
Yeah,
But,
and I just literally opened the garage and just threw it in there.
Yeah.
like the orange room's in my garage.
that's what I did too. Same thing. Open the garage. I opened both garage and just started chucking stuff in either direction.
Oh no, I put everything away where it's supposed to go.
No.
That's another reason why it took me so long too.
Stupid.
But thinking back, dude, you know how I almost didn't go. I would have been so mad if I didn't go.
Now I'm thinking about it. It would have been great if you hadn't
my
gone
God.
because then we would be able to talk about the Icon experience, the Icon
Yeah.
ride and drive experience
that I
that you
didn't
didn't
make
get
it
to go to,
yeah.
and the Icon
and this
Overland
thing.
experience that you didn't make it. Yeah, you would have been bummed. There was no option for you to not go.
I was just so frustrated at that point. I was just like, you know what? I don't even want to go anymore.
Yeah, no, I get it. I totally understood your frustration. Yesterday, like I woke up early, or fairly early. We went and did a family breakfast. We got the oil changed in Tammy's car. I went and washed the truck and cleaned it. And then shortly after getting back,
It didn't rain down here?
it did. But I had to drive it to work on Monday, so it was, I just wanted to get it cleaned. And Tammy took off for a work trip. She left in the afternoon, and like I was saying, I was kind of like half awake, sitting on the couch, Presley crawling over my head, wanting me to play with her. And it was a tough day, but
Yeah, I'm telling you, dude, when I came to pick up the keys, you looked so tired.
I was so tired. I even posted on my personal page. I posted a picture of Presley and I on my personal Instagram page, and Ect Mobility is following over there. He commented, he's all, "Bruh, you look beat."
Yeah.
I'm like, "Yeah, I am beat."
It was a long. It was. I mean, there was no time when we weren't doing anything.
No, it was go. So I mean, we just said it, but I think I'm gonna speak for you guys. We are so grateful, one, that we got to be included in this event. So, Jeremy at Icon and Rory for including us in this. We are so grateful that the group of people that we met were gracious and fun and welcoming and enjoyable and like-minded, and we all got along and had a great time. And I'm just absolutely grateful that you guys, the two of you and Joe and my brother and Susan and Zen and Dave and everybody that went like as part of our core group to get there. I'm so glad that everybody was there, because it just made this such a memorable event that I'm already thinking about what next year is going to be like. Like I want this to be an annual thing.
2021.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dude, it's still the beginning of 2020. We could probably do something like this 2 or 3 more times.
No,
Yeah.
I'm saying this specific event though. I love King of Hammers. I've gone to King of Hammers several times. I love that racing and that environment. I'm just saying like that.
I really hope the Icon Overland experience, if they continue to have we need to make it to that show like every year.
Every opportunity we get. It was absolutely phenomenal. But I mean, it was a lot of work. It was a hell of a lot of fun. And now we got to get Jose's truck back on the road.
We're working on it.
Yeah, we didn't talk about it, but I'm thinking we don't really mention it until we get it figured out.
We don't need to talk about it.
And
but for me, I was fanboying out a lot over there because all these people.
Even me, you were like,
Yeah.
I don't know, I feel weird. Like I don't belong here.
Yeah.
What do you mean you don't belong here?
But it was also weird too when
It's not like Steve Garvey's here,
But it was also weird for me too when people were like, "Dude, I can't. You guys are so funny." Like when they were talking about the show to me, and I was just like, "Man, people listen."
it was a little bit weird when people were parroting back some of the stuff that we said.
Yeah.
Like
Dre was doing that. He had a funny thing when we were walking back from Chocolate Thunder up that hill, and I'm all, dude, I can't afford to fall down. If I fall down, I'm like a racehorse. You got to shoot me and put me down right where I stand. And he's all right, Secretary. He just started calling me Secretary the rest of the weekend.
Well, and I think
awesome.
Yeah, it was awesome. And I think people have heard us rip on each other and like the times that we've made fun of Fred and Joe and like, so I think like the environment was already set. And so everybody kind of, and it, maybe it had nothing to do with us, but the environment was already there. And we were just because Joe, Man, Joe is not afraid. He is
Oh,
not
no.
afraid. Joe will
Or
not Joe
McVenture.
Cave. Joe Cardenas is not afraid to like crack a joke at your expense and say some stuff.
Oh no, it's the best.
It
I
is
love it.
absolutely
Yeah,
hilarious.
he holds no punches.
No.
Like, dude, he'll go for the jugular any chance he gets.
And but I think that's one of the things that made it fun. Like we all knew that was the environment, and it was fun as hell. And again, I am looking forward to this. And to your point, Matt, we don't have to wait till next year. The more of these types of events, I think the four-wheeler expo in Costa Mesa in a couple weeks is going to be fun for those that go. There's been some conversations about Overland Expo West. We, as a group, need to have a conversation about whether or not we're going to be at that.
If you told me that everybody was buying in, then I'm in.
They're going.
The conflict is that's our Mojave trip.
Dude,
so,
that's what I'm
I already
saying. We
told-
take the
I'm
Mojave
not-
out.
yeah, dude, you're acting like that's just that's adding at least 2 days to
know.
this thing. And,
I'm not saying I can get the time off either.
right. So what? So you're just saying dumb shit, is what you're saying.
Have you not listened to this show?
So
this is the first time you've heard that?
we either we got to plan that out, but definitely after speaking with Rory and the group that final day, that really put it's really swayed me, I think, towards doing that event.
Mm-hmm.
So
We just
like
need,
I said,
to figure it out.
I think it's going to be another great time, and better for the show. Again, we get more exposure, and the more people we meet, the happier I am that we do this. It's pretty amazing.
We had I want to see three people already on social media say like, I saw you guys, but I couldn't get over to where you were, or I saw you walking through Hammertown, but I was in line to get a hamburger or something. Like people, and then we had 2 firefighters. One,
We were kind of running deep, dude.
I know.
I mean, we had a bunch of trail chaser gear on.
I know.
That's pretty cool.
we had 2 firefighters, one from Big Bear.
Oh, that's right.
They were just tooling around. They in an LJ, and they
saw the shift pods.
They saw the shift pods. They came over and they started.
Shift.
Hard F.
I said shift pods.
Shift pods.
And they came over to talk to us about what was going on, and neither one of them had heard of the show, but we were talking about what we do, and he was driving an LJ, really nice LJ, by the way, and so he was asking me about the Ranger.
Yeah, dude, I saw his post what he was writing to you.
Yeah, he was all.
I was like, am I reading this right?
So I'm trying to find the post right now. So as I had posted up that I was
it a love letter?
it was pretty sexy. Let me tell you. No. So
I was like, why?
I had posted. So he had that really nice.
Oh,
Ranger.
you got to read it to me now.
So he had that really nice Ranger LJ, and he was talking to me about the Ranger, and he said, "Hey, he's all thanks for washing my Ranger for me, like because he wants one, and here it is, it's RW024, and he's like, thanks for washing the Ranger for me, and I'm like, you can't have this one, but I'll sell you a 2013 Tacoma if you want.
I'll sell you a Tacoma with arthritis.
It's fine. He was super cool. He lives in Big Bear, so we're going to try to connect with him. And then the last day on Saturday, we're standing there. My brother and I are standing there talking, and these 2 Jeeps are driving around the camp. And my brother waves him down. He's like, "Hey, I built that Jeep." And they come rolling over, and it was 2 of the customers from All J Products. And Casey they're a married couple, and they each have their own Jeep. And Casey had worked on one of them quite a bit, and so they came over and they talked to us for a while. That was pretty cool. I just noticed, by the way, that Elam, Easy 6 Deuce, is on the live feed. He came out.
Yeah.
So we need to get better laser pointers
What are you
because
talking about? Do we have like illegal ones?
because Elam's trying to.
I was gesturing towards a plane, and Jose about slapped it out of my hand. Don't do that, bro. Don't do that, bro. And the thing was like,
or flares. We need
it was probably
flares.
5 miles in the sky, and I think that the actual range on these things is maybe a half mile, I think.
Because as Elam's trying to come in, he's like,
Exactly.
"Do you see my laser?" And I'm like, "I don't see nothing."
I don't
And
see shit.
do you see our laser? And then
Like a bunch of idiots. Everybody's walking around camping with lasers.
at one point we drove up to a hill to wave lasers, and as we're driving up to a hill, up towards the hill, Brian, CJ, and Kaylee from Air Down Off Road, they were coming towards the camp. So we hooked up with them, and we're like, literally, like to Matt's point, we're all standing on this hill waving green lasers in the air like a bunch of
I don't see
jackasses.
anything. Are you guys... Dude, you know what? But then after, maybe Elam's just directionally challenged like you. Like maybe he's looking in the wrong direction. I don't know.
It. Somehow he found
did-
it.
he did find it.
He and his
All
wife
I know
and
is
his
that
kid.
All I know is that we lit up some campfire that was out across the valley with those lasers. Yeah.
Oh, at later on that night at Chocolate Thunder, across Hammertown, so like right on the other side, there was somebody with like a blue laser that was kind of flashing it up. So I was pointing at him. We were like communicating. I was like, beep, 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 beep. And then he was shooting back at me, like, I don't know, so like a strobing thing. And I think we were communicating somehow, but I don't know what we were saying. or we were fighting, like laser fights. In which case I won for sure.
Well, we need to come up with flares or something to better do like the signal, the bat signal when someone's trying to find us. But Elam,
You want to give me flares?
no,
Like,
that's a bad idea. Elam did come out. The guys from the team from Air Down Off Road came out.
oh yeah, that's right.
Neither one of them got to stay for very long, which was a bummer. But it was cool that they came out and got to see the experience, see the Overland experience, and I think that. I think I can speak for you guys when I say that this kind of just invigorated me to do more of this, like to get to, we're now having deeper conversations about rooftop tent, and I went back and listened to last week's episodes about rooftop tents with Mark and Lauren, and trying to put it in the context of what we experienced last weekend and how that plays into my decisions and what I'm going to do. There was a couple, Trigger Controller has a couple really nice trailers. Rory has a couple really nice trailers he had out there. Those were super nice.
So just real quick for me, like if I had a rooftop tent, you wouldn't be able to bomb across the desert the way we were doing it. But if you had that trailer.
Yeah, we're a whole nother show because I do have some input on that because I do feel like part of the performance of the Ford this weekend. Obviously
it was light and
the
nimble.
truck itself, the suspension, the wheels and tires. But I had one toolbox in the back. It was a big toolbox with almost as much of the stuff that was in the deck. But
yeah, but it was centered. It was towards the center of the truck.
Super nimble. The truck was super nimble. We got going from our camp to kind of where all the other obstacles were. There was a good stretch, a mile long stretch of sandy area, and it was like this valley, and the sand went up on the sides. And at one point on one of the night runs, we take off, and there was a truck in front of me, and I don't know who it was. It was a Tacoma, a Gen 2 Tacoma, and with a camper on it. And I came up on it, and it was going too slow, and I punched it and got sideways up on the hill and just went around two other vehicles in the Ford all the way around because
I did that too. I was right behind you. So
I'm
don't
sure
get,
that-
Oh, and
don't
real
get
quick,
so like only you and the Ford
That's
could
not
do that.
what I was saying.
I was right behind you because everybody was like, make sure somebody watches Matt.
they
in
were
that
giving
frontier.
you they were make sure someone
Yeah.
would get behind Matt to make sure he's okay, and
Yeah.
Matt was bombing the whole time.
And real quick, this is probably another bad idea because I was pretty drunk at this point too. I drove Matt's truck. Yeah, from where we were
The
at,
first,
from where the helicopters and the race. I drove from there back to camp. Yeah, it's good, dude.
Oh, I bet
It's good.
I imagine that thing with some icon suspension on it.
Matt's gonna fly. Matt's gonna fly.
No, I have no doubt. Once Matt gets his icon kit, Jeremy, if you're listening, once Matt gets his icon kit, I'm not going to be able to keep up with him.
it's over.
It's going to be ridiculous. Jeremy, are you still on the? He was on the Facebook Live. We actually have a crap ton of interaction on Facebook. I'm really surprised.
Oh, wow.
It's all people we know. It's all Jeremy and Joe and my mom.
Hi, Mom.
My mom and Rory. But so as soon as you get that kit for your truck, dude, it's going to be
that truck's
it's going to be
so
on.
insane, dude.
Yeah. No, I know.
Well, I was telling Jose, it's just torquey. Like
It is.
And you know, when you're four-wheeling, the thing that I'm getting used to, or I'm pretty good with it now, is you throw it in first gear, traction control off. And so that way you get that like kind of engine braking effect, because when you're going over whoops or you're going hard and you hit the brakes,
Which I did.
they just vibrate. You don't brake because the wheels are just bouncing, but that engine braking helps a lot because you're still going smooth. So anyhow, first gear and just you just work it hard in first gear.
I drifted that thing.
Oh, you could drift it. It's like second gear, easy. On the way back on that final road we were going down before we hit the highway, I think I was like in third gear.
Yeah.
Drifting that thing. So yeah, it is a lot of fun, but you guys knew that.
Yeah, no. I think the advantage I had was the fact that the way that Icon suspension was working, it kept all four wheels on the ground at all times, unless I wanted to jump it and get it off the ground. Everything was planted and firm.
There were 2 points where it was like, oh no, it's like another level.
Yeah.
Again, was that hill climb, the very first hill climb. When you sprinted up it was like stupid fast, like the amount of momentum you were able to carry. And then I think it was the next day in that little valley area, I actually got stuck because I was following. I wasn't able to just blast up it like the night before. I was kind of stuck behind Casey. So I tried crawling up it and I had to back out or whatever. And then you come around just, like you were in like one of those little slot cars, where you pull it back and let it go. Just shit. All right. Yeah, that's cool.
I would tell you, there was a couple times I really wanted to get on the radio and just like scream because I was so happy.
Oh, well, yeah,
but
dude.
I didn't because I knew you guys. I knew you guys would give you a hard time about it.
Honestly, like that reminds me of being on your dirt bike in the dunes in Glamis, and you just catch a rhythm where you're riding for 15 or 20 minutes straight, and I'll holler like, yeah, because you're so pumped and everything's just working right, and you're having a blast. So yeah, you should have. Dude. Or you could have done it. You probably were doing it without the radio.
Oh yeah, I was screaming. I was giggling the whole time. Like, for me, that's a big purchase. You buy a car, that's a big purchase, right? And for me, I usually have this period where I work up to it. Like, I finally pull the trigger, and then I immediately have remorse. Like, I'm immediately like, why did I do this? I shouldn't have done this. I didn't need to do this. I shouldn't have justified it. All of that went away this week. Well, and think about the other thing for that truck. Literally 2 weeks and 1 day from the day I purchased it, I was in Johnson Valley at this event. Like 2 weeks and 1 day.
Yeah.
Yeah, when you were talking to us about it, like, dude, I want to get this, and this before Hammers, we're like, bro, what are you talking about? Like, you don't even have the truck yet.
Yeah. 2 weeks and 1 day. Thank you to you guys for making it happen. 2 weeks and 1 day, I'm in the dirt, and after 1 day in the dirt, I was 100% satisfied. Like, I'm no going back. Like, this is amazing.
I don't see how you could be.
No, I was super happy with it.
Well, now that you have that 4 tattoo, there's really no going back.
I'm gonna go get. I'm bleeding blue right now. I'm telling you that right now.
You're a Dodger fan? Yeah. Mookie Betts, baby. All right.
I don't know what you just said.
Dodgers just traded for one of the best players in baseball, so nope.
Yeah,
no big deal. No big deal.
No bigs. All right. Anything else, guys, other than thanking everybody for participating and letting us hang out? And, this is an awesome event. Jeremy and Rory, you should really pat yourselves on the back, man. You guys.
Absolutely.
And everybody, I know.
Granola bars to those guys, granola bars to Icon.
Yeah. And I know it wasn't
everybody
just
that
them.
came out.
I know that Tyler and Caleb and Scott and Scott's wife, Brenna, and Tyler's wife, Audra, and all of them.
How do you remember all those names?
I was talking to them all weekend. Like,
that's true. I was talking to them too.
I spoke to them too, but I don't remember their names.
You don't even remember my name most of the
I
time.
don't. I don't.
My point being, like, it was a huge team effort from
much so.
everybody at Icon and Rory and the other people that were involved. And so it was a team effort from their side to make it happen. And then I think it was a team effort from the participants to really go out of your way to make it work. And they did. I mean, everybody got along. It was great. We had a situation that everybody, the entire community came together to overcome. And that kind of set the pace for the rest of the weekend. And I'm really proud to be part of this community and part of this team and part of Team Icon. And I know that, anytime there's another event, we're going to be there.
I can't wait.
We got to make it happen.
Can't wait to do it.
All right, y'all.
Agreed.
So thank you guys for joining us, and we are looking forward to the next campfire. Have a good one.
I'm Presley, and thank you for listening. Thank you to Nexen Tire. Thank you to Icon. If you want to be on the show, call 951-394-DIRT. Thank you to Ryan Torino with all of the music.
Rescue Con's already talking shit.
Is Tim already talking shit? Screw you, Tim. I made a comment the other day. I made a comment the other day online, and he jumped in to remind me that I'm a loser. That's what he's here for. He's here to, every time I feel like pride or accomplishment, Tim comes in and knocks me down. Turn your volume down, guys.
It was more of a backhanded compliment.
No, he never
What are you doing
compliments.
trying to feel good about yourself to begin with? That's your first mistake.
Jerk face.
That'll teach him.
Yeah, you jerk face.
Welcome to the Trail Chasers Podcast.
This episode is presented by Nexen Tire. If you want to increase your performance... This episode is presented by Nexen Tire. If you want to increase...
Wow.
This episode is presented by Nexen Tire. If you want to increase the performance of your rig both on and off-road... You asshole.
That was
Asshole.
Jose.
You're an asshole.
Effing Jose.
Come on, dude.
I gotta get home and go to bed, dude.
You we ready?
Is this a legendary end of the episode? Take.
Jackass. 3, 2... I can't even look at you. 3, 2, 1.